Sons, episode 7. We back up in this thing again. What's up, my friend? We lifted, we gifted. This shit ain't scripted. You know what I'm saying? We back up in this thing with my brother from the same mother, like we said before, and it is the Podigal Podcast. We are here to give you all the entertainment news that we, as the Newman brothers, give a fluke about. And we ain't going to be about no BS, or we giving it to you all straight up in the body, no PS. We driving around low emissions, you know, Prius.
My prescription is the best. I be listening to preachers that say, okay. I want to clarify you all.
I should have stopped a long time ago. Go ahead.
Well, we're from the same father as well. We always say brothers from the same mother, and we never.
That just rhymes.
It just rhymes, right? But we think we have. We're pretty sure we have the same father. There's a running joke. There's a running joke that Brandon is offspring of Muhammad Ali. One because of
Dad knows that joke. I feel like that's like a coveted Louisville thing. You might be breaking the news to father.
It's not a Louisville thing. It's a mother thing. And
just to clarify, I'm sorry, got to step on your lands. We grew up with. Yeah, obviously everyone grows up with pictures in their home of whoever and whatever. But next to like our grandmother and like baby pictures of us with our grandmother was a picture of my mom, a younger version of my mom with Muhammad Ali, and then also a younger version of my mom with Denzel Washington. So you can understand where the speculation can start, because my dad has very, very strong genes and all his kids look like him. But me, I look much like my mother. So that's what, and I also, if you want to Google Muhammad Ali's son, I look more like that dude than my brothers and sisters. But continue.
Let me share my screen. Me share my screen. Do it. Give me the power to.
No, you can. You can't do it.
No,
I gotta. Oh, yeah. Maybe I just did it.
Let me see.
Thank you for sharing. You're trying to share your screen for a podcast. Okay, yeah, that is good. Explain.
So what we have here, you all, what I just shared on my screen is the picture of Muhammad Ali and my mother. My mother is hugging Muhammad Ali, not like some regular person, not like some
you would hug Muhammad Ali friend. A specific way anyways, right?
It's hugging Muhammad Ali. That's it. The cheek, where the cheek is too. And the lip is. Come on now. And then look at this man. And then look at Brandon. We ain't gonna talk about it. We'll talk about it later. We got some stuff to come.
That's scary. Mom looks beautiful in that picture. Let me just
Mom looks amazing.
Like I was like, she's looked great. We have a very beautifully gifted mother, and she looks great in that picture of Muhammad Ali. I think maybe that's why the picture's up there. Like, she's glad Muhammad Ali's in it too. But like, of course she would dress to the nines if she was gonna meet Muhammad Ali. She didn't run into dude.
She didn't even, all she had was a jean skirt and a AKA sweater on. Like, she was about that. She was a pretty girl.
Have we asked her what year that was? We have not.
No, Mom has vehemently denied this. Brandon, you.
No. I'm not trying to carbon date my birth. I mean, like, specifically, like how old she was in that picture. You crazy? Not going into Mythbusters on my biological father. Oh my gosh, Dad's probably so mad at this point. He's so crazy.
Be all right. Hey, look here. Hey, bro, if I raised Muhammad Ali's son, like, I would be the proudest man alive. Stop that.
I will say, right before the pandemic hit, I was taking boxing lessons in a New York gym. In the basement of a New York gym, one of the worst places for COVID, sharing the showers with all my old men and all that other stuff. And
it's just COVID.
People, what?
It's just COVID. It's not COVID.
Just stop trying to correct me with saying COVID.
Go ahead.
It just messes with the flow of stuff.
All
this
right,
is just a you
my
thing.
bad.
I said it just like that. Around a bunch of white people earlier yesterday, and everybody just let it ride. Everybody let it ride.
You in Florida?
Anyways,
this is how they say it.
Shout out to the university, alma mater.
Still in Florida.
You said COVID.
Keep it
Oh,
going. The
they
gym
were very,
in
they
the
were,
basement.
they were very impressed with
What?
my skills. They were very impressed with my skills. They
Hey.
was like, this dude, and I'm not saying it's in my blood or anything. Our dad's very
No, we got
athletic as well.
hands.
Our dad's
Mm-hmm.
very athletic and is about to combat our father. But how you
Oh,
doing, Lance?
Brandon, they
What?
saw your Muhammad Ali greatness. They saw your sting, your your
I
your
mean,
your
that's
bee
why I brought
sting
it
and your
up. Yeah,
butterfly.
that's why I brought it up. Yeah,
Well, no, you can't
and I
bring
can't
things up
wait,
like that to
bro.
me.
Honestly, for
I'm like a conspiracy theorist. That's
I
gonna make
can't. I
me
know. And I tell
okay.
people on conspiracy theories, like the beauty of being a conspiracy theorist is you believe a little bit of both sides always.
hmm
You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
the beauty is, that conspiracy theory was a term coined by
To get
the
people off of
boys.
yeah
Yeah,
the
to make
truth.
them right to dissuade them from the truth. So,
But
but
anyways,
yeah, what were you saying? Yeah,
I am excited. I mean, we're going to be talking about vaccines and COVID-19 later
there
on,
we go.
but coronavirus. Oh, what is it? There's there's a way to say it that was so funny to me. Uh, Corona 19 or COVID 19? No, something. I'm sorry, that wasn't good.
Vid
But anyways,
19,
huh?
Vid 19.
No, I'm not. That's not what I'm. But
Okay.
anyways, Corona 19. Um, that's how I refer to it as Corona 19. I'm waiting for that to end because I really am about trying to get back in the gym.
Yeah, what you
I am
said.
here. I am here detoxing. It's nice to travel a little bit, especially like people's other houses, so you like can say no to things that aren't good for you. So like I'm slimming down. Like last time you saw me, I was probably like 313. I'm now 303. Holla at your boy. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be
Hey,
like below 300 when we get into
what?
December. Can we say that the rest of this year has flown by and December is going slow as shit? Is it not?
Um,
It's the
yeah,
13th. It's been December for a
yeah.
month now.
That's because people put like ending. They anticipate the
Oh,
ending of things,
I don't
right?
know.
And the anticipation is what draws it out.
I think it's because the first started on a Tuesday. It was like at the beginning of the week. You know what I mean? It wasn't like a Friday thing or anything. But didn't get into that. But how you doing, brother?
Um, I just
Lance,
baked some
stop eating on
cookies.
this damn podcast.
I
Stop.
am. But look, when you bake cookies, right? You want them fresh out the oven because if you let them sit too long, they become hard and you need milk.
It
So
is
like
11:45 on a Sunday. When did you bake cookies?
just a minute
Once you
ago.
answer that question, you're gonna let everybody know that they're not fresh out the oven. When did you bake the cookies?
Just literally just a minute ago. Just took them out before we started. So however long we've been going, like 5 minutes after that. They're freshly baked. It's delicious. But that's how I feel. You asking how I feel. I feel like fresh baked cookies at 11:45 on a Sunday night. Do you feel what I'm saying?
I don't know, but those variables tell me it might be feeling good.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Getting the week started.
You sound like
It's
on
like,
some adult, like I'm about gushers only at the grocery store type shit.
do you not do that? Have you not like
Not
walked
anymore.
into
I did it when when I took my fifth year at Ball State. We're gonna get to them later too. Myers is where the main place where I went to grocery shop, and because I like to get
Myers is fire?
a t-shirt and some overalls while I get my milk and eggs and stuff. So I went there,
Myers
and
is
then
fire.
I used to stay with some gushers. I used to stay with some Country Time
Mhm.
Lemonade. I did the most embarrassing thing when I was training for the or like for pro day. I caught myself drinking a gallon of water a day, and I told Michelle that it was Country Time Lemonade mixed in. She was like, Brandon, this is not the same thing. Like you have to stop drinking a gallon of
Oh
pink
my
lemonade
god.
Country Time a day after your workouts. So I had to stop that. You learn as you grow. We all learning and growing. But we're feeling
Some
good.
people like a mini man.
Oh, not yet. Listen, you just harmonized what I was getting into. Jack Harlow, hometown hero, dropped his
Hometown hero. Hold
debut album, quote unquote
ahead and
debut
do
album.
this.
That's what they all say. Hit your DSPs at midnight. It was very crowded. Lance is showing his Maker's Mark Louisville cup and showing him pouring some bourbon. Some Four Roses. Shout out.
Now, what I'm doing, you all, pouring 4 Roses bourbon into a Maker's Mark cup is called Newberging in Louisville. It's
Really?
called, yes, it's called Newberging when you mismatch brands. So if you're like wearing Adidas pants and
Oh,
you have a
right.
Nike shirt on,
Yeah.
um, and this is when I was younger. I'm not sure if it's still a thing. It was always disrespectful and it's always unnecessary. If you fly, you fly. I feel like if pieces
Ooh.
go together, let pieces go together.
Yeah,
What is the
you would probably find some Jabot jeans with a specific color and try to match it with a FUBU shirt.
Oh, that is terrible style, but it is definitely worn by somebody.
In
And
Newburgh. Somebody at the talk stop in Newburgh right now. It was some
in the West End.
Jabot
Hey,
jeans shorts
we don't want to do that. Love to Newburgh.
and a Juicy
Hey,
Man
but
snowman shirt. Like I said before, we've said it before on this podcast. But Jack Harlow,
cheers, Jack. I poured
cheers, Jack.
this
I've been
cup
drinking
of
hard
bourbon for
seltzers.
you.
Yeah, I've been drinking hard seltzers. I told you I'm on a diet.
Brandon, that is the most
What?
okay, because you're on a diet.
Yeah. Oh, what you gonna say
That
is most?
is
Please say it. You gotta say it.
I can't. I don't even know what to call it because I'm too aware, right? I can't call it sissy shit because that's not proper
Oh yeah.
lexicon, right? You can't call it. Um, I don't use the B word. That was like first that came to
Okay.
mind, right? But I
Oh,
don't use the
oh
B word
yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
B
BS.
stuff,
Yeah.
BS. There you go.
Yeah.
I don't use that word, so I can't even. I would say girl stuff, but I don't want to say that either. I wanted to settle on Hollywood. It's very Hollywood. I'm gonna drink this seltzer. This seltzer.
Bro,
I'm
it's
on a diet.
5% a can. That's like a beer minus the calories. Let me see what's actually calories in this thing. 100 calories a can? That's actually more than I thought it was. I had a grapefruit one before that, and I was getting hot. My eyes look all low and stuff. That's why I was trying to start with the sunglasses on. But
This bourbon don't even it don't even got one of them healthy labels. It tell you like what's in it. Like one of them
oh yeah,
like how much sugar or sodium. It
I
ain't
don't
none of
think
that.
I don't think
It's lime.
I don't think liquor has that. Liquor doesn't have nutritional
Ooh,
facts on the back. But shouts out to you
no, it
and
shouldn't.
the Four Roses. You left it at my house last Christmas when we was in New Jersey, and everybody was at the cribbo for Christmas. That was a beautiful time. Um, but back to Jack Harlow.
Back to Jack.
Back to Jack Harlow. So, being a Louisville guy yourself, tell me how
Mhm.
you first got introduced to Jack Harlow, or first
Uh,
stumbled upon young
I
Jack.
mean, ever since before the Dark Knight thing, right? Cause cause
Before
Woney,
the Dark Knight.
yeah, because Woney works with him or is with
Yeah,
Tufo, like
yeah.
that's his homie, and I know I was in
Private
like
Garden.
Greg. So with like I was in California in Victory with Greg and everybody else, and like
Victory Park.
I never came in contact with Jack at all, but I knew Woney was doing stuff. Like I knew he was on more projects. So like that's kind of how I got introduced to him and his music.
So you got introduced to Jack because he was working with Woney and you knew Woney. And you
Mm-hmm,
knew of Woney stuff.
mm-hmm. Yep. I knew like his tracks he was.
Who produced Baxter Avenue on
Yeah.
the second to last track on this album, and he also did Eastern Parkway, which is on that loose project that Jack did, and
Mm-hmm.
River Road that was on Confetti, which
Mm-hmm.
was how I got introduced to Jack Harlow, the Confetti project. um I'm really not sure. Actually, you know what? Shout out Young Mantis. No, I just got put on Jack before I got introduced to Mantis. I have no idea. It's hard to carbon date stuff sometimes. I don't know. Definitely was the Confetti project that got introduced to Jack with. It may have been Young Mantis. This guy Mantis. He used to work at Barstool. Same
His
time I
name was
did.
Young Mantis.
Yeah, he has a condition where he's bent, like that boy bent. I don't feel like sharing my screen and showing you a picture of Mantis, but yeah, his body is physically bent. But he's from
And they call
Fishers,
him
and
Mantis?
he calls himself Mantis.
Oh, dope.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
There is good. Then it's
yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah.
Dope.
But he That Boy Bent podcast. Shout out to them. They're on their 6th episode this week. But anyways, he very funny, like video creator, like just a very like natural networker. But anyways,
Mm,
he's from Fishers, Indiana, which is like on the way to Ball State from Louisville and
mm,
like in the Indy area. So being the Notre Dame and Ball State, like I knew that Aaron, it's like a very small town, but it's like where a big Target is, like very specifically. Mom was helping me move my stuff from Notre Dame storage back to Louisville. And
mm,
it was like we had to be in a U-Haul together type shit. And I pulled over and got Take Care. I bought Take Care, the album, Drake's album, just because I wanted to listen to some music. And Mom messed me up so much. I'm still recovering from this take. She played the first track of Take Care I ever played, and she was like, when's he gonna start rapping?" And I was like, "Wow," because she was like, he's just
mm.
kind of talking, right?" And I was like, "Oh my god, Drake really just be talking sometimes." But anyways, back on track. He kind of like put me on, and then Willie, he's a Jack's a huge Steelers fan. His dad's a huge Steelers fan. We talked about how people from Louisville are huge Steelers fans, so he like Jack was like freaking out about Willie and knew exactly who he was. And Willie's like, "I don't get out of here, little white boy. Like, I don't want to talk to you." So, anyways, I got put on that. So, my first time when I first moved to New York, I was listening to Jack Harlow heavy. Like, my 2019 playlist is heavy Harlow for Confetti. And then once I played that out, and we talked about how it kind of at one summer time we just didn't want to listen to it, or we just wasn't because it would play it in full because it was a really good
Mhm,
project. I went to Loose, the project before that, and we loved that track so much. And then so that's why I felt invested in those two projects so much that I was disappointed when he called this his debut album. And then I heard
mhm,
it and I was like, okay, grown man
mhm,
shit makes more sense. A lot of big budget. It
mhm,
almost sounds similar to a lot of other projects that he's had because he's had a good flow for a very very long time.
mhm,
The fact that he's 22 right now and popping, we'll
mhm,
get to that later when it comes on the critique side. But like I can't wrap my mind around how young he is. Like even
mhm,
to be who he is now. I asked you about the album
mhm.
straight up. We was on the phone. You said instant classic. Why do you think so?
He's I mean, all the songs are good, and no, I think that
I like
he
the way
does
they
well
sound.
with right. No, I think he does a great job of like holding his own, and then his features that he has. Um, they compliment him. They bring a fan base to him of respect. I feel like the people he had on his tracks are people we just outright respect, right? Like the features,
I'm
just
just going to list down
um,
the feature. Well, actually, do you say, speaking of Newburgh, is it, I always say Eastside G. Is that not how you pronounce it?
I don't know. It's just ESTG. I
ESTG?
always, yeah, I just G.
Okay, so run down the track list of the people that Jack has on
But
his
like
album. Lil
Chris
Baby,
Brown,
Big
Lil
Shine,
Baby,
yeah,
Big Shine, ESTG. Um,
Adam Levine.
I thought it was like established G, like established G. That's what
Oh,
EST means. It's
like
established G.
established G.
Yeah.
I've been saying Eastside G. I sound crazy.
You sound insane. Oh my goodness. There's no East Side or in Louisville. We ain't in
EST.
Detroit. Brandon's pulling on his Detroit roots.
ESTG. Wow.
Who else you say? But see, so that's
Adam
like five.
Levine,
Adam Levine.
Static
Come on
Static
now.
Major, and Bryson Tiller.
Static Major and Bryson Tiller. Come on. Come on. You got two people from the city. You got um three people
Two.
from the city. Three.
Thank
I'm
you.
no,
Thank
my
you.
fault,
Thank
my
you.
fault,
Thank
my
you.
fault.
Thank you. Thank you.
Three people from the city, and um the other features are people that we just legends that we respect, right? Chris Brown came in the game young, right, and
Oh
has
man,
been
Remember that
surviving.
Chris Brown album?
Yeah,
I mean,
what classic,
they sat
classic. That's
like talking about instant classic. Like Chris
classic.
Brown's first album, self-titled Chris Brown. Lachey got it for me for Christmas, and we driving to Detroit. And then between that and Lord Willing Clips album, I played the breaks off of that. And I've also every song that was on that album, that Chris Brown album, damn near was a hit. And I'm talking about Yo when he was singing before a lisp type shit. But go ahead.
Yep. And then you got Chris Brown, you got Lil Baby, right? I don't know how old Lil Baby is, but that's another like young cat that at first I was like sleeping on dude, but my homie said, bro, he be spitting, like listen to him.
Crazy.
And he's very good. I was like,
So
okay,
good.
wow, this
He's
guy's good.
26.
Um okay, so he's 26, and then you have Adam Levine. I feel like Jack believes he is Adam Levine type white boy. You know what I mean? Like he is that level of cool white boy to where like I'm going again, white dudes that do black things well will
Yeah.
always be, they can write their own ticket. And it's like, I know what was that fucking Songs About Jane?
Songs about Jane.
Brandon, Songs About Jane was the whole breakup with Tasha. It was like I said the name. It was the whole
Tasha was
heartache.
Lance's like first like love.
And when I tell y'all, I was in the car.
Love.
And with the tear in my eye, give me the sweetest goodbye. That I ever dearest boy, motherfucker.
Real hard.
Adam Levine can come to
And
my
honestly, after
cookout,
Songs
bro.
About Jane, when he jumped on that, and I heard him say, "Nothing's ever promised. Nothing's ever promised
Mm,
tomorrow.
mm,
Today,
mm.
nothing lasts forever, but be
All of Maroon
mine."
5. All of Maroon 5. They cool. They and that's the same thing. And like,
But I wish
you know,
speaking of that, I wish he would have sang more on that track, and also don't have Adam Levine on your track and then harmonize before he does. I had an issue with that. And it was like that Drake Chris Brown feature on one of those like throwaway mixtapes that he had, Dark Lane demos, where like you can barely hear Chris Brown. Like I feel like I barely hear Adam Levine on this. Like
and
that, it's like a brand name to get me to that track, but I don't know where he is in the song. But the fact that Adam Levine was messing with Jack is huge.
And I want to point out, y'all, that Jack Harlow, he's from the city and we are behind him. But he is literally the tip, not I mean the very tippity top of the iceberg. He's the white cap of the iceberg that is the talent that is in Louisville.
I
You
like
know
that
what I mean?
imagery.
And like when we talking about, like, if you talked about top 3 rappers in the city, somebody from the city Jack might fall third, right behind like One Take, right behind.
One Take
And then
Timmy.
people got One Take Timmy, and then and a lot of folk got their favorites. So the G and the First Shifts and the
ESTG. I
Yans
tried
and
to explain it.
the
I went live on YouTube
Playboy
listening to the album at the first time,
Polaroid.
and
Mhm.
I told people that ESTG is like Yo Gotti of Louisville, but also
Come on.
like the Gucci Man of Louisville because he
Yep.
comes from a place in Louisville, like Newburgh. We talk about Newburgh. Like Newburgh is a place in Louisville, and forgive me for this, Lance. You can correct me immediately afterwards. But a place from Louisville that Black people are from that get made fun of by other Black people in Louisville.
Is it because of proximity to whiteness? Like there are 5 zip codes which are the most impoverished in the city of Louisville. Newburgh makes up 2 of the 5, and the other 3 are in the city's west end area. So it's like, if you want to find Black people, Newburgh and the West End are your more populated, but Newburgh is a closer proximity to whiteness, and they kind of got some space to think. They're not all like
On
bunched
top of each
into the
other, yeah.
West End, yeah, bunched
Right.
on top of each other in the West End. So they think a little freer. Their minds are a little bit more creative. They're
Our
and
grandma and our great aunties
I'm about to say, like,
are buried in Newburgh. That's where the graves are. So
yeah,
Newburgh is home in Louisville, regardless.
no, I mean, but worse, that's what we are. They will call me and Brandon Newburgh niggas, and we very much so. If you like learn how we act versus how other people act, we are definitely
Oh my god,
uh
I'm wearing a
like
shirt from Target right now, and so it's like essential Newburgh inward stuff.
but that's just West End hate. Newburgh is like it, and we don't even know the beginnings of all the stuff that goes on out there.
Shout out to Thomas Jefferson
Right.
Middle School. But you
Oh
said
wow.
instant classic, like yes,
It's an instant classic, bro. I mean, it's an instant
okay.
classic
So here it
because
is. Here it is.
okay,
Here's
okay.
my, and I don't want to say beef with it, but like it's Jack has perfected the sound of today and what is hot now and what is good now, and he gave us an album of that in his version with the people that he
Mm-hmm.
respects on it, right? So
Mm-hmm.
like it's not reinventing the wheel, but it's
Mm-hmm.
proving that he should be on the wheel. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Which is
Mm-hmm.
okay for if you're going to call this the debut, especially when he's 22, and that's what I'm
Yeah.
completely fine with. Like I really really like the project, but I think it's unsettling for me that it's not head and shoulders the best project that I've heard from him. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
Yeah.
you can hear the money in it, but it's not, in my opinion, for when it comes to pen game, it's not the. It's like he's literally on some laid back shit, like very cool. Like Anthony Fantano is a music critic. He calls himself the internet's busiest music nerd, and he's like one of those examples of people, you know, when you don't like somebody but you still follow them, or like you still like check their stuff. You know what I mean? Like I like the way he makes me think about music because he reviews all kinds of different music. But when it comes to rap, he's always like, if anybody has an album that sounds like a Drake album, he thinks they're biting in their bullshit, right? And he's
Mm-hmm.
also, it's like Jack's thing. The ones that hate me just look just like me. This is a white dude who gave Jack's album a 4 out of 10 and wore a red flannel. And when when he gives reviews with a red flannel, he usually gives terrible reviews. Like he's never gave Big Sean respect. The only respect he's given Big Sean, I think he gave him a 6 for Dark Sky Paradise, which is also a travesty. So,
Yeah.
anyways,
I
he
mean, that's
said
not.
so. He was shitting on him, but one thing he said that I agree with, he said Jack Harlow sounds like the most popular kid in high school. You know, on this album is like kind of just laid back and like that in that regard, and like not pushing
But see, that's that's
for
that's projection shit though, because like that's probably what's his name?
Anthony
Fauci,
Fantano.
Anthony Fauci. He said that he wanted to Fauci get the vaccine dude. I'm gonna use that as a segue. But Anthony Fauci, Fantana, um, he's projecting onto Jack the mood, and that's just Louisville. Like we just cool. You
Right,
feel me?
right.
Like we
We
not
laid
trying to
back, we
be
cool, we let it
cool.
come to you, all that stuff like that. I
Yeah.
think Rolling Stones, it's got Danny Schwartz wrote the article that was the review of Jack Harlow's album, and he said Jack Harlow's "That's What They All Say" is a love letter to Louisville. And I was like, you know
Oh,
what?
that's beautiful.
Yeah, like
That's a good. That's a good.
and that's why we love it. And when I read that too, and I read that review, I was like, yeah, this is why it's hard for me to come at it from a place of like critiques or criticism, because like dude
Y'all,
he just said everything that we were thinking this entire time on that album.
we a love letter to Louisville. Y'all got to think about that. Like, how much love letters do Louisville get on the
Right.
national scene, right? Like, how often do y'all see us in a positive light, from college scandals to Breonna Taylor to like all these
Man,
things, right? We are never given love on the national scene, and like
especially in
Jack's doing
2020.
that. Come on, Jack
Yeah,
and
Jack's
Bryson doing
doing
that.
it.
You know, man, I don't.
And we
We're not
behind him
hearing none of
because
that.
of it.
Uh, shut up. Me and my homie Rob, shut up. Shut up.
Shout out to
Like
Rob Shoulders.
if y'all got something to say, if y'all got a problem with the talent that's coming out of Louisville, right? It's coming out of Louisville. Why are y'all mad? Like why are
Right.
we mad? Like the
Ask people
in-house
from Louisville.
the in-house discussions can be had with the in-house people, like the people who know. For anybody outside of the city, don't want. My homies like to play Madden 2K, but one thing they don't do is play about Louisville. You know what I
Right.
mean?
They don't play about them.
Um,
What's your
yeah.
favorite song on the album?
Keep it light.
I thought you liked that. That's a good
Keep it
one.
light.
I mean,
That's
I'm a
just like,
sucker for. He ended that one the way I won't say the way Drake did, because it really is Drake-esque, but it was a voicemail from his mom at the very end of it, and it
come on,
sounded like a very wholesome white lady in Louisville that we all
come
know
on,
and
bro.
love type
Bro,
shit.
that was Karen. That was Miss Karen. That was Casey's mama. That
Yeah.
was like, you feel me? That was like
Anybody
all
that
our
helped
family
us get to
mamas.
from school or to and from practice, that's what we sound
Come
like.
on,
It was
come
on the
on.
track.
Give it that wisdom. Give it that,
Bro, when he said my name rings cities in the bell like Rondo, but like Hassan, I'm from the white side. I was like,
yeah.
ooh,
Like, how beautiful is that? Like, please acknowledge
ooh.
that. Like, thank you for acknowledging that. Don't let people, and that's another thing. authenticity. When we talk about debut albums, right?
Absolutely.
The debut albums that do well are the ones that are vulnerable and the ones that are authentic. First comes to mind is like Lauryn Hill's Miseducation, right? Like
Hmm. The miseducation
uh
of Lauren Hill. Continue.
Miseducation, Lauryn Hill, Music Soul Child's first joint. It's like these honest, and
Here
I'm
I
older,
am.
so I
Okay.
can't. I mean, if we want to talk contemporary. Kendrick Lamar's "Good Kid, Mad City" was that his first joint?
Yes. No, I mean Section 80 was really his first
That
joint,
was a
but
mixtape.
it was the type of shit where that it was the same
That
thing that
wasn't a
Jack was
mixtape. That
in.
was an album.
But no, but that's what I'm saying. It's the same thing Jack was in. Like Jack definitely was pushing Confetti as an album. He was on Sway in the Morning pushing his album Confetti, the same way Kendrick Lamar was on all these places pushing Section 80
Mm-hmm.
as his debut album. And then the next one came out and was like, oh, this is actually the debut album. So it's kind of one and the same, but a lot of Kendrick stands say that Section 80 was his first real project. But yeah, but that's a good example of like what this is. But I it's not that because obviously Good Kid,
No,
Mad
it
City was
followed
one
the
of the best
formula.
albums that we've
Yeah,
heard.
no.
Period.
So that didn't follow the formula. So there's a
Right,
formula
right. He pushed the
that
boundaries there. Yeah,
and when Anthony Fuckboy is reviewing Jack's album, he's reviewing it like under that same strata, under that same model of pay for some expensive features, pay for some expensive production,
right.
and you'll be good. Like that's
But how many
really all
people
you
do
have
that
a few
and it's
hits.
still trash? You know what I'm saying? Like that's my thing too. Is like let's
Mm,
call it spade a spade, like or hearts
mhm,
are hearts or diamonds diamonds, whatever you want to call it.
mhm,
Like it's still with all that considered, it's still good. He's definitely professional. He's put his time in. You can
mhm.
tell he's relaxed on the beat. The album is succinct. One of the things he said negatively about it was that it's Spotify playlist fodder. And I did have an issue with. I mean, in my opinion, if you're a rapper, you don't have Chris Brown on your album and the track be less than 3 minutes or be 3 minutes and 30 seconds long. You gotta if Chris Brown's on your shit, it's gotta be a 420 track or something like that. You know what I mean? It's got to just be a little longer, but it does feel like playlist. But that's why I'm saying Jack is doing what's hot now. Like he's showing that he can be in the ring with all this stuff that's going on right now.
You hear about Taylor Swift hating?
Well, a lot of people dropped that night. It was a Man on the Moon. Shouts out to Kid Cudi, Cleveland native.
Mhm.
He put on Man in the Moon Phase 3 or Part 3.
Another Louisville cat, Vori. Vori dropped too.
I don't know who that is, but shouts out to
Yeah,
Vori. And then
look
Taylor
that up.
Swift put out her Evermore album because the folklore shit was popping off, and she had the video version of it on Disney Plus and all that stuff. So everybody's like,
Mm.
oh, like my favorite tweet during that time period when they said that Taylor Swift surprised everybody saying she was dropping that night. Somebody said it was white on white crime against Jack Harlow.
Oh,
Yeah,
hilarious! I
that's very
love
very
it.
funny.
I love it.
But anyway, so we kind of covered Jack Harlow up until this point in all the things because it's 33 minutes on the beat. I know we was talking about Muhammad Ali for like first 13, but we gave 20 minutes to Jack, and rightfully so. Shout out to him. I mean, we're gonna be playing that album a lot. My Carter loves 21C Delta. He just started. I'm gonna put out a video. I saw him. He just dances to it. So I'm excited. I'm excited. I mean, right
Taking
now
me in.
I'm excited that my home is in Louisville, that I have a stay in Louisville because I do feel
Yeah.
like everyone here is in Louisville. I know I'm here in Florida right now. Everyone in Louisville is going to be ready to create and link up uh and be on a national scene after they put their time in like Jack did. I mean, hell, Jack left for Atlanta right out of high school to get his sound right. They talking about the Dark Knight video. Him and some members of Private Garden was all in Atlanta trying to make shit pop, and that's when he got introduced to Sci-Hi the Prince, who's wrote Sicko Mode and all and half of My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy and all these
Mhm,
things, and obviously got with DJ Drama, who he signed to now for
mhm.
this label and this release.
One
So
of the best lyricists,
Side of
underrated
Prince,
completely.
no
Side of
doubt.
Prince,
His
underrated.
project's coming out soon too. Um, but let's. Oh, I did want you to before we completely get off of it. I do want to hear why you said. Are you when we
Oh
were
yeah, yeah, yeah. One thing that I
complaint?
heard from it wasn't a complaint as much as it was a critique from another artist in the city, but he was talking about how he wished Jack would have had a female feature, like he like kind of gave props and acknowledged that Jack is a kind of conscious about what he's saying and when he's saying it, right? And
He's smart. He's smart
if you're,
dude.
yeah,
Atherton
he's
is a
smart guy.
smart school. That's the high school he went to. He was a
It
soccer
is.
chapter captain. I loved in the
Yeah.
album when he said he played soccer but didn't have the touch because that was what you didn't. My brother was a really good soccer player, but touch was not one of his strong points.
I could not score a goal to save my life, y'all. I don't know what, hit it. You're not supposed to hit it with your toe, but boy, if I hit it with anything else, it's going somewhere it's not supposed to. And I've only scored one goal in my whole life, but after playing soccer for at least 12 of those years. So
Oh man, and that goal was scored at half field.
yeah,
Um,
at as a defender, I was a defender and I scored a goal. Y'all, I've never heard nothing like that. So, um, having another woman on or having a woman on the track or represented would have been nice. Maybe again the formula when we're talking about the formula of cookie cutter debuts, a woman's feature is not mandatory for that formula. Um, it would have been nice. I'm sure he probably wanted Meg the Stallion and
never
nobody
know.
else, but couldn't afford her right now.
What if he had Cardi on it?
Oh
That
my
would have went
god.
crazy. That would have
Oh
went
my
crazy.
god. Oh
Cash
my
Doll,
god.
even City Girls. I mean, he's on the
Yeah,
City Girls remix for
he's
their
on.
song.
Yeah,
So
they did
yeah,
good too.
and my whole thing is, dude's 22. He's not
Hmm.
going anywhere. So
Yeah.
shouts out to them. Little Baby went crazy. I did think that he got outshined by the majority of his features on the track.
No, no.
I do think that. And we're gonna. But Lance open us up into the world of politics pay.
So you all, we are moving. This again. We're in this age of awareness, of enlightenment. Folk are kind of seeing the inequities and the just imbalance that has been existing in our society. So we're trying to move to a different place. In Louisville, there's this thing. Well, in Louisville, we've had two protesters get killed, and there's no suspects. We don't know. There's only been a black truck, a black Ram pickup truck,
Really? When did this
at
happen?
the scene of one uh, in the past 2 weeks. So Travis, young cat, and then I forgot the other brother's name, but it was a young cat. He was in his 20s. He was one of the protest leaders during the Breonna Taylor uproar, and then another protest leader was killed. So we're bringing awareness to this. There's this thing going around called the Ferguson effect. After the Ferguson protests, a
Mm.
lot of their leaders were found dead in very suspicious ways. Nobody has ever been prosecuted or found guilty for those murders. So um, just kind of keeping that eye up on that. We got mandatory or maybe not mandatory vaccines about
Well,
to
let me
be
say,
rolled
four
out.
people were stabbed in Washington D.C. during a clash with Trump supporters, and
Mm,
they were just protesting, and 23 people were arrested. And this is all people were going out to support Trump because he lost the court battle with Texas to overthrow other states' election results. Let me just read this part real
go ahead.
quick before we go into the vaccines. NBC News
I mean, I
writes,
kind of want to stay on that because you talk about
"What?
what's not going away. You talk about what's not going away. Trump supporters, they're not going away. So
Yeah, that's true. It said never before had any state asked the court to do what Texas proposed to nullify election results from other states. The lawsuit sought to delay the vote of presidential electors in Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, arguing that the vote procedure in those states violated their own state laws. In a response
mm,
to this ruling, Texas GOP Chairman Allen West issued a statement that continued to suggest widespread voter fraud in the election, for which he offered no evidence, but criticized the court and suggested that Texas and other states succeed. He said perhaps law abiding states should bond together and form a union of states that will abide by the Constitution. Somebody, I heard some joke about it and said, what if all those what if all those states combine, and it's like uh, California on one end, New York on the other end, and then all in the middle is just Jesus land. rename the states.
It's already Jesus land.
Right. But anyways, I wanted to get that off
spooky.
because that is like because he is saying that it's fraud. His supporters are saying it's fraud. We talked about this before. It's like believing in Santa when we all know Santa doesn't exist, and they're mobilizing because of it. So like this was kind of like what it was. I think a lot of people on the left and the right were saying that regardless of what happens this election, I want to get out of here because it doesn't feel safe right now, and this is a result of that.
Louisville is an open carry license. I wish your mother father would. I sent you a link, Brandon. I maybe in the video part of this you can add in the little clip of it. So there was these cats that rapping at a MAGA rally, and there was like they were rapping, and they had a line, "I'm a Bible reading, gun toting, rights loving American," something like that.
By the thumbnail, it looks like MAGA version of Run DMC.
Boom, that's exactly what it was.
Now, turn it up. Turn it up. MAGA gang, tag gang, MAGA gang, tag gang, MAGA gang, tag gang, MAGA gang, tag gang. Yo. Hold on. I'm a gun-toting patriot, God-being patriot. Bryson, why they mad? Cause I'm real and they be faking it. Free speech advocate, it's on my mind. Hold on. Ain't nobody taking it. Gun-toting, Bible reading, God believe in truth. Speaking American, it's MAGA season. Democrats commit interest, and I know they think it's sweet, but you don't know who you dealing with.
Could you imagine being in that crowd? I want everybody to imagine being in that crowd, having all your racist thinking and your like xenophobia and everything else, and they got this rap group on there, and Billy Bob next to you is bopping to it. I was watching Saturday Night Live yesterday, and they had this country singer on it.
The one time I didn't watch it. How was it?
Maybe it was a rerun, so maybe you seen it. It was a country.
I think it was definitely Jason Bateman. New. Oh, Jason Bateman was the rerun. Yeah, that was the one that had the Stan spoof. But that was a rerun. Yeah, it was definitely.
Okay. So, well, anyway, on that episode, they had a country singer, and I told LaToya to close her eyes and imagine a rapper, right? And literally, the country song was a rap song. Yeah, have you noticed how country music is rap music? It's just like
some tracks, is rap music with its some of the more popular ones are. I mean, my favorite country song is Dierks Bentley, What Was I Thinking? And that our second favorite, and then he's spitting on there. Becky was a beauty from South Alabama. Her daddy had a heart like a 9-pound hammer. Think he even did a little time in the slammer. What was I thinking?
So look, check it out. That speaks to the connection that poor whites or rural whites have with poor blacks and inner city blacks. It's like we both sing our sad songs over, nice beats, up rhythm beats, and our slow songs are R&B sadness, and it's filled with like this down home American thing. But the majority of those folk voted for Trump. Do you feel me? Like the majority of folk can't see that connection.
The difference is the feeling of oppression both led us to the mic, but the difference is people are actually being oppressed, systematically, and like the other ones are just like, reading the wrong newspaper.
Right.
Simple as
right. They don't. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going.
Are you going to take
I want to get into.
Yeah. Are you going to take the vaccine?
I guess I did read up on it a little bit. So, on Monday, obviously, the whole thing with the Texas stuff is important because the electoral votes are getting pushed in on Monday. There was somebody here in Florida. This guy does work around the house or something like that, and he was a white dude, arm wrestling champion, left-handed, and I was luckily doing stuff with Carter, and I heard Michelle and her parents talking to dude in the garage, and they were definitely getting into some politics stuff. And it was one of those things where like Michelle had to check dude when he said, "When's the last time you saw something racist?" And she was like, hold up. You know what I mean? So like I was like, my big black ass don't need to come out there and step in to the mix and mess up the whole vibe because Michelle out there trying to preach to the white dude and get him right. So
shout out to my sister-in-law, y'all.
yeah.
Hey, white folk, it's your job to get your peoples. All right.
Yes.
It's no longer our
Police
job
yourselves.
to convince them. Police yourself.
The fun though
properly.
So in that he said in this argument, he was trying to tell them that if you actually look at it, right as of right now, Trump is leading in the electoral college votes.
Oh my god, man! People
like
are
why?
just...
Like I tweeted out earlier today. I said, is it a controversial take, or is it controversial to say that the 2020 election is over? And like some people,
Yep.
I mean, but 10% of people said yes, and those are people that, well, I don't know. A lot of people said no, but that is a part of it. But anyways, back to this vaccine. I brought Monday to the electoral college. To on Sunday morning is when the Pfizer and somebody else tech or bid in tech something sent out the first round of vaccines. They came from Michigan, obviously where Pfizer is, and they're being administered supposedly it was supposed to go to first responders, but comes out that it is also being administered to people in the White House and people who are surrounded around Trump, and half those people have already gone through COVID, and as Trump has said, he thinks he's immune. But the vaccine is going to hit, and it's supposed to hit 400 or 145 different sites in specific hotspots on Monday, 425 different sites on Tuesday, and 66 on Wednesday. Now, it's supposed to go to doctors, nurses, security guards, receptionists, and all this other stuff. But we all know that not everyone's going to be able to get vaccinated at the same time. They obviously have to stagger the people to do it, but they're definitely getting moved first. Obviously, Trump's administration is getting criticized from people that already want to criticize Trump for his camp jumping the line after they've denied COVID for so long, and everyone's getting it at the same time. But they're coming. It said at one point in time it wasn't going to be administered to younger people, but now 16-year-olds and 17-year-olds have been approved, but not younger people. But the vaccine is coming immediately, and the efficacy rate is at 95%. I'm sure everyone already is aware of this because they're looking at those things. But FedEx and UPS are working together to get this magical ain't no COVID juice around the country as fast as possible, and Lance, go off.
The U.S. Postal Service would have done a fine job of delivering that vaccine if only they hadn't been dismantled to try to fraud the nation in a voter scheme. First of all. Second of all, some of the patients have come out, the people who took the initial test. They developed four people that were involved in the testing of the vaccine got Bell's palsy. They contracted Bell's palsy to where one of their sides of their faces is stuck, like they have partial facial paralysis, and another
insider edition shit
reacted violently to it, and a couple people died. But they said that, these are all just regular numbers, nothing to really worry about. That for herd immunity, you need 70%, I think, of the population, or just over 60% of the population must get the vaccine to develop herd immunity.
To prevent herd immunity?
No, to gain herd immunity.
No, herd immunity is not taking vaccines. I'm going to stop you there because that's what herd immunity is what Switzerland tried to do, and it backfired. Herd immunity is like whoever's going to get it is going to get it. And we decided not to do that. So there must be a different term, because herd immunity is the antithesis of getting a vaccine. I heard of people going to get vaccinated.
So for everybody to be good, a certain amount of the population needs to take. It says herd immunity, um, community immunity, population immunity, social immunity is a form of indirect protection from infectious diseases that occurs when a sufficient percentage of the population has become immune to the infection, whether through vaccinations or previous infections, thereby reducing the likelihood of the infection for individuals who lack immunity. So that's what
Okay.
herd immunity means.
Okay. Well, when herd immunity was first introduced during the beginning of this pandemic, it was prior to a vaccine being introduced. So I didn't know vaccines were a part of this term because it was definitely like, all right, everybody just
Yeah.
cough and lick on each other, and
Yeah,
whoever
the only reason
died
why I
die.
was like the only reason why I was pushing like this because like that's all the news has been saying. Like all these professionals are coming up. 60% of the population needs to take the vaccination for herd immunity to develop. Herd immunity. Like I heard it so much, I was like, I know what the fuck herd immunity means. But that's what it means. The percentage, right? So 60%, and right now 41% of the population says that they will be cool with um taking that uh taking that vaccination. Then there's the large amount that aren't okay with it, right?
Okay,
um
that's projecting.
no, Brandon, they did a poll. It's CBS. I can
Yeah,
pull it
a
up.
poll from who? Like the okay. But
Yeah,
but
watch the
they said
news. This
okay
is what the
in
news
this
is
CBS
saying.
said they
This is
said
what the
the
news is
large
saying.
amount of people are not okay with taking the vaccine.
They said only 41% of the people that they polled
I
out of
said I'm talking about they
100%.
said would not want to take it. That's
Yes.
what I'm asking about.
Yes.
41% said they're not.
No, 41% said they would.
Okay, well, I don't know if it's 41% said they would. Then the opposite, I wouldn't call it a large majority, but yes, we can run with the majority of it. Said
Yeah.
that they
So
wouldn't,
it's which
or
we
capping,
can
or
understand that.
professionally
We
capping in a poll,
right.
which
Your
happens
vaccine.
plenty of times.
No, it definitely does, but it
Right.
just speaks to the hesitation that people have for taking the vaccine. So, you say you would?
I usually don't take the flu vaccine, but I do what Michelle asks usually because when I do, people are happy. Um,
What you just said?
so I don't. So I really don't. I mean, I really don't know. I don't. You know, I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm not. Here's what I do. I'm going to continue to be safe. What I don't like about the vaccine is things opening up too quickly because I do think there's still some separation that needs to take place between people, and I'm worried about people, quite frankly, taking the vaccine and start licking each other and stuff like that, and like all that, just like throwing caution to the winds because they have got injected. But I do think that taking it is smarter than not because
Mhm.
of the long-term effects of COVID that we don't know about. Right. Like
Mhm.
that, like just to mention, Contavious Johnson is a star basketball player at the University of Florida. He was starting, he was
Why
playing
his name sound
basketball.
like Contagious Johnson? Keep going.
Stop. He passed out in the middle of a basketball game and
Damn.
like broke his nose and like just passed out and had to get taken out on a stretcher. He's currently in critical condition. This is like a big recruit for them that is just unconscious, knocked out on like vital signs, like critical condition. They don't know, and no other symptoms because he was playing a basketball game, other than the fact that he caught COVID earlier this summer.
Hey, um, y'all in the comments, tell me what movie that was where Marlon Wayans was the brother
I
and
can tell you
died.
right
He
now,
had the brother. What was it?
six man, the six man
Oh, that movie was so great.
played for the Washington. This is the Washington
Like
University. It was like the basketball team.
like that story was so sad. It reminded me of the movie when he died on the court and like,
That was the first time I cried in. That was the first time I cried in a movie theater, and that's the hardest I cried probably in a movie theater.
come
I,
on,
I
what?
saw Passion of the Christ, and my family, with everyone thought I was a psychopath because I did not cry at all. But I just couldn't read that fast. I didn't know what was going on in the film. I knew it was supposed to be Jesus, but
That
I knew
shit
Mel
was
Gibson did that shit.
trauma. That was trauma porn.
Which one?
Passion of
Oh,
the Christ.
oh yeah.
What?
But anyways, But that's what I'm saying. Like the long-term effects, we're not exactly certain of.
Right,
You know what I
right,
mean?
right, right.
And that's so like the dangers of having that in your system, and then later on finding stuff out. Like I'm still concerned slightly with mom, who's had COVID, and like I'm just like, man, you good? You all right? Okay, you good? You sure? Nothing feel weird? You know what I'm saying? So with that, I think it is important to have people vaccinated.
I got to say, I'm on the other side of that fence, Brandon.
Talk to me. Tell me why. Tell me why.
I'm less concerned about it. I think that their antibodies going to keep up. I think she's stronger than she was before. I think that once people, once you get a licking, you keep on ticking, then you're going to be kicking like Sarah.
I just tell you about this 18-year-old. No, you're trying to transition.
Kicking like Sarah. What's her name?
Sarah Fuller.
Kicking like Sarah Fuller.
Yeah, we'll get
Shout out to Sarah Fuller.
Yeah, we'll get to her. Actually, we can do it. No, we'll get to her later. Okay, you can't universalize how you feel and hope that mom's going to be okay, which obviously I know and hopes as well.
I mean, look at all the people. You got President Trump, the one person that should have died from COVID.
You don't think he had shit? He had super juice. He had presidential super juice.
Yeah,
it's the same reason. Like they know where the buttons are. Like you. Think
if he had presidential super duper, well, that makes sense, right? Because you see how Bush, Obama, and Clinton are going to take the vaccine publicly, to like build confidence. Why ain't Trump doing it?
He says he's immune already because he got it, because he was out there wilding.
They need to,
and they were throwing parties around the White House where masks were encouraged but not mandatory.
Could you imagine wearing a mask at that Trump party and get cussed out by everybody like that greeted you? Oh, you think
I can't imagine getting the invite and going.
You wouldn't go to the White House? Trump's White House?
No.
Did LeBron? Yeah, no, not at all. For what?
No one did. I mean, Dad did, and we thought he was, and it wasn't until later on that we realized that he was not so happy about it. But he said he wasn't.
He was proud about it.
We thought he was. We don't.
The way he presented it, I was like,
"Listen, our dad was in the Marines, and he went. He got honored for some veteran work that he's been doing. He was one of X amount of people. He went to the White House. We knew he was going to the White House. He texted the family group that he was going. Lance put the big eye emoji in there. Shout out to Cameron, our brother too, who interviewed Trump on the radio station he's working on during the election. But anyways, Dad just hit the group there with like Android quality version of pictures of Trump at a podium talking with no context at all. So we was like, is this a flex? Like, what is going on?
I muted the phone. I don't even remember seeing those pictures.
You don't remember seeing the pictures?
The thread. I muted the thread after that. That's fair shit.
It was so odd, and that's why I was so.
Nah, Daddy.
He said afterwards though that he was like he doesn't support Trump. At one point in time we didn't know, but at one point in time it wasn't so like.
No, it wasn't clear. No, not at all. It was not clear at all.
It wasn't clear. But anyways, yeah, I don't think I would go. And if I was to go, and I would have masks and gloves and a hazmat suit probably, because it's dirty up in there. As Jack Harlow said in his album, I'm just as dirty as the place you see around other things you see around me. But yeah, so anyways, vaccines coming. Lance says he doesn't want to take it. He's not going to take it. While also you got people at your damn daycare. When I told Michelle that the kids' school daycare somebody got COVID, she's like, "That's the second time." I said, "You keeping track of Lance's kids' daycare COVID ID updates?"
Yeah, no, it's been a minute though, but it is the second time. But see, that's the thing. Like, y'all not gonna keep charging me and
yes, they are.
Catching COVID. No, they are. But I'm saying though, like, don't make it a habit.
Yeah,
like COVID can't
ain't no
be a
COVID
habit.
kickback. They ain't even done a stimulus COVID kickback. But
I hope they okay. Whoever got it.
They didn't tell y'all.
No, you can't. It's like AIDS. You can't disclose who got
Lance.
COVID.
No, it's not.
You can't disclose who got COVID. It's
Standard
illegal to do that.
procedure for AIDS. Magic Johnson was very public with his HIV. Oh,
No,
I'm
but
sorry.
that's
I'm
his
sorry. I'm sorry.
choice.
I'm sorry.
That's
And
his
I said,
choice.
wait, no. I make the mistake of ignorantly connecting HIV and AIDS and thinking it's like the same thing. It's a comedic
Right.
knee-jerk
Faux pas.
reaction. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. It's like honestly, like hit my elbow, my hand smack in the face type of shit, and I apologize.
Yes.
So let's move on because we did want to take a deep dive into who and what the F Shaun King is. Okay, now let me tell you how I first ran into
Brandon wants to take a deep dive. I'm hesitant because the people that I know do not mess with this man whatsoever.
Oh, you think I
But
do? But that's the
no,
thing
no,
though.
no,
I'm
no,
sorry.
no, no,
But
no,
here's
no.
the thing, and that's why I
No,
want to talk
I
to you about
do
it.
though. I kind of do because like I get my news. Like he was on my Instagram feed and people be like, "You still following Shaun King?" I'm like, I mean, just give me somebody else to follow that gives me like really good,
Like he's a
really good up to
retweet
date
machine.
news.
Like he lets you know what's
Oh,
going on.
with the quickness, just
So let me tell you about Shaun King because like it's funny that like the most woke of people don't mess with him because the most unwoke of people that was a mentor of mine of sorts, Jason Whitlock. The first time I heard about Shaun King was he and Jason Whitlock had a radio interview and they was beefing and it got very contentious and angry, and Whitlock called Shaun King out for basically not being black
yeah.
and also like not knowing where he's from and and claiming, and obviously Rachel Dolezal the Rachel Divide. Have you seen the Rachel Divide?
I don't think he's Rachel Dolezal just because he doesn't claim to be
I'm
black.
not telling. I'm
But
telling
he's
you what
oh, go ahead,
Jason
go ahead.
Whitlock is was on
Yeah, no,
with
it's
that whole
valid.
thing,
It's
and then
valid.
he
It's
like, and
valid.
then there was all kinds of
Valid
like,
statement.
there's all kinds of things of where he was like kind of street cred things that didn't match up.
So real quick, hold on. If you all don't know who
This
Shaun
is
King is,
2016, by the way. This was in 2016.
Shaun King is like an activist, right? He's a social media warrior. He's on. I mean, he's also a physical activist. Like he goes to places and so on and so forth. Whatever. He's just always in the know. He's like a one person, one man. Black Lives Matter
But
informationer,
not, but
but
not,
he's
but
not
not.
black.
No, but not connected. Don't say that because
Oh yeah, but he's not connected.
I think that, but don't. We're not allowed to say that. But
I think he said it. I'm because
no,
I
he think
followed
no,
him.
no. His mother is white. He's never seen his birth certificate. He doesn't know who his father is, but his mother has told him that it was a
Oh
black man.
man. Okay.
And I told Michelle
Okay.
that I can see how other people can see him and think of him as a black man, but I am from Louisville and I've seen a lot of white guys with their haircut and that mustache trim.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh my
Saying,
god.
I'm just
Oh my god.
saying. So anyway, so like yes, he is telling us who he is. You throw me off track
Hey,
trying to joke on
speaking
dude.
of, speaking of white people who might have black in their family, Bruce Willis gotta have some black in him, right?
Bruce
Because like
Willis.
think
Which one is
about it.
that?
Bruce Willis, Die Hard. This man has
Oh
not
my
he
god.
he done got the bald and he aged like a black he aged like a black man.
He got the
You
balding.
know,
He looked like Vin Rames. You're right.
come on, what? And he ain't
Speaking of movies he's been in with him, Bruce Willis. Wow, we should look into some lineage of Bruce Willis. You think the black delegation will be interested in Bruce Willis?
what?
You think
Why
so?
not? Why not? I don't think he's ever played anything that like offended us deeply. If
I
anything,
think at times I got him confused with Mel Gibson because they was like Die Hard con.
Okay.
What's the other one? With
you can't. Bruce
what was
Willis
the other?
is
What's the Mel
working,
Gibson one? That he was like a cop.
Braveheart. Oh, he was a cop. Mel Gibson.
Or is that Bruce
He was a
Willis?
cop?
Danny Glover and
Bruce Willis. Die
oh,
Hard.
like I said, I get Mel Gibson and Bruce Willis mixed up.
Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
I haven't seen it.
Brandon, that is, I believe it. I know you. I'm your brother. But everybody else who is listening to this is probably very disappointed that you've never seen that classic movie.
Why would I turn that on?
Why wouldn't you turn it on? Your father was a cop. They have a black character that is a cop. It's
Lance.
a whole bunch of loud explosions.
I thought you were saying. I've seen Die Hard. I thought you were talking about the Scottish one. What is the one?
Braveheart. How are you getting Die Hard mixed with Braveheart? Like how?
Die Hard, Braveheart
Have nothing common or close at all.
sounds similar. And who's in Braveheart?
Mel Gibson.
I just proved my point that I get those two mixed up because I have not seen Braveheart, but yes, I've seen Die Hard. And yes, Die Hard's a Christmas movie.
Oh, you are just pissing everybody off. You pissing everybody off.
How is it not? It was at a Christmas party.
Obama came out and said that it's not a Christmas movie.
Obama don't believe in defunding police.
Oh, good one. Good one.
And Sasha is rebelling.
We cannot. Oh, that's terrible. Keep going.
Listen, I brought up Shaun King because he's not connected to Black Lives Matter. By the way, he's very clear.
Right,
that's what I was trying. That's what I was trying to say. We got to his race thing. He's not connected to Black. He wants to be, but Black Lives Matter people have denounced him in the sense of like, if you're giving to Shaun King, you're not giving to Black Lives Matter, and it's come to the point as you're alluding to that he has come out and said that as well. That I am not Black Lives Matter. I just support what they're doing, and because of that, I found a tweet. This tweet just grabbed my eye, and that's why I screenshotted it and brought it in. I want to talk about it, and that's why Shaun King is even on the docket. Because he is like a polarizing figure. Actually, on Joe Budden's podcast, said the funniest thing. He never said Shaun King's name, but he was trying to find. He was talking like about a news thing that happened. He was like, blah blah. Posted. What's the white D-Ray's name?
Oh, dang. I know exactly who you're talking about too.
No. I'm telling you, he said that. He's talking about Shaun King, and he said, "What's the white D-Ray's name?" You know, D-Ray with the vest. D-Ray is the name of the D-Ray McKinnison. Or D-Ray McKinnison, like the one the blue vest activist. What? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
His name's D-Ray.
Yes.
I thought it was something. I thought it was like Del Rey.
No. I get Mel Gibson and I can't even, I don't even know who the other one is. Bruce Willis. I get Mel Gibson and Bruce Willis mixed up, but I don't get D-Ray and other people. He's got the blue vest on. But anyways,
it is D-Ray.
Yeah, I know. So anyways, he said but I thought that's what you ruined the joke for me because that was so funny about what Joe Budden said. He's like, "What's the white D-Ray's name?" And he was talking about Shaun King. So I heard that and I just started dying laughing to myself.
That's hilarious.
The white D-Ray. But anyways, he tweeted December 10th. And Shaun King, whoever his group of people are, they've like presented a big packet of like demands to the Biden Kamala Harris campaign, and like he's tweeted about that. So he has some expectations for Joe Biden. Anyways, but so that's just a preface for this tweet on December 10th that said from Shaun King. It says, I just listened to audio from the meeting some civil rights leaders had with Joe Biden this past week. Very disappointing in all caps. First off, he sometimes projects rudeness and irritation. Worse than that, 70. He basically told them that he's not going to do a lot of executive orders. Then he continues and he wrote another tweet and said, Joe Biden then said that he's basically not going to commit to anything related to policing, police brutality, etc., not even tiny slow motion incremental changes. Then muttered on a bunch about randomness, about defunding the police, which nobody there even asked him about. And it has like X amount of retweets and comments and things like that. And I'm just like, dude, like it's about the Jack Harlow hate stuff. It's like, shut up. Like, we don't need you, this like news outlet, independent news outlet, like setting everyone up to like it. I don't know if everyone is expecting so much from Joe Biden as he is. This is literally a person who is like the glue between Trump and whoever else is going to help run America on the other end. Like we don't expect Joe Biden. We expect Joe Biden to make his cabinet look diverse and progressive and put people in around him that are very smart and know what they're doing to make him look good. We're not expecting him to be a prophet. I don't think he's a prophet. I thought he's Barack Obama's friend. That's one of the reasons I voted for him.
He got 2 years, and him and Barack don't even like each other.
But I bring that up because like Shaun King is already on, in my opinion, shaky ground with some people about his credibility. For him to start trying to
been on shaky ground.
For him to try to discredit Joe Biden before he gets in because he heard audio
that's what happened
that he wasn't invited to,
right?
And one of his main points is he sounds cranky. It's like, dude, shut up.
I mean, but that's what you have to do, right? When you're in that lane, right, and you're making your name, living, so on and so forth, from ousting or exposing just the big stuff, right? You have to comment on the stuff. You just have to. If and he decided, he wanted to comment. It just is what it is. But I don't have no hate against Shaun King, man. Like do what you do. I think everybody serves a purpose. If it comes out that he is mixed with Australian, his daddy was Australian.
It's not going to come out. It's not going to come out because there's no way you can check birth things. You have to take people for who they say they are, and he's done X amount of work to solidify himself in whoever character he is today, and we got to ride with it. I mean, his name's Shaun King. What if if I found out on his birth certificate? Now, if we do the whole Trump Obama thing, we find out that his birth certificate is SHAWN Shaun. I'm gonna have some questions. I'm gonna have some questions.
No,
I'm gonna have some. Oh, speaking of name changes, bro, did he change his name too?
No.
Shaun P. Diddy Combs, and shout out Face My City, Jack Harlow. He said co-signed by Diddy right off the top, X amount of seconds into the album. He changed his name legally to Shaun Love Combs, and he's pushing love. Love is now his literal middle name.
If you come to Louisville with it, I'm gonna sue him. So speaking of names, I wanted to talk about, y'all, why do me and Brandon have the most passive white sounding? So I want y'all to understand that the fold of code switching from birth is parents naming their children, right? And our names show that our parents were complete assimilationists. Like my mom said, Brandon, what do you think about Brandon? My dad was like, oh yeah, that's great. I like that. That's normal. What about Lance? Oh, your name is Lance, so you already got a white. You already.
Here's what happened. You're named directly after our father. My mom wanted a Brandon, and I found out that dad was the one that gave me my middle name, which is Jarrell, and my name is Brandon Jarrell Newman, which tells me that our parents were assimilist in a way, but they wanted me to stay black on the inside, quite literally. So the blackness is laid right in the middle name,
right, Brandon in the
Jarrell
middle.
Newman.
Right, you got Brandon, and it's a very German. It's Brandon Newman. Brandon Jarrell Newman. It's very German.
I had a comedian, Greg. It's not. Is it Greg Owens? Might be Greg Owens. He's a black comedian, graduated from Notre Dame. He did a set at Notre Dame, and he was talking about how his name is so white, and he was so mad at his parents about it. He's like, "Ain't those black people got a name?" And I smacked shit out of Michael Jr. He was like, he's like, "Oh, what's your name? What's your name?" Brandon. He said, "Oh, Brandon. Oh, that's good and white." Shout out to dude. Oh man.
No, but it just shows you what black people have done to live in this country. And coming back to Biden, right? We don't expect anything. Like Brandon said, like we don't expect him to be somebody's messiah. We don't expect him to do anything. He's an old white man. Like he was the at oldest
of white men.
He was at a
he's
picnic.
He's trying to jog to show us that he's not old, and then he got a boot on his foot playing with his dog. Don't play with us. We know how old you are.
Like you used to sit on blankets during lynchings. Like you sat on the grass with a ham sandwich with a lynching
Why
going on in the
would you
background.
go there?
That's what
What?
it is. That's what it is, Brandon. What are you talking about?
Accusing our president-elect of having a picnic during a local lynching.
Hey, he was young. He wasn't old enough to remember the body swinging, but he was like, he was old enough to chew food. Like that was a thing.
Young Joe Biden with a fucking white bread sandwich, chewing, looking up. It's so wild. It's so wild. We all voted for him happily. I mean, that's so crazy. I mean, that shows reform and growth. Like, you gotta.
No, it shows you age and whiteness. Like, if you was on this earth and you are white for a certain amount of time, you were witness to certain things, right? You were just witness to certain things. That's what it comes down to. So, like, that's when he's talking to civil rights. Hey, y'all, I'm not doing nothing for y'all. Like, don't think I'm gonna help y'all. Like, I can't. Again, 2 years, then he's out of there. But I think that he's going to, or he's just that buffer. Because if he did anything, if he really took any action, Brandon, a civil war would break out, right? Like white folk will be just going against it.
And he can't have that on his dime. He can't put that on. You know what he's probably saying? I can't do that to Kamala.
On God.
I can't do that to. I can't do that to these.
I think Kamala wants to smoke.
Black women that I put.
No, black women want to smoke. Black women want to smoke. Kamala wants to smoke. She dates. Like, imagine her being a prosecutor. She probably likes cops. She probably likes the stories that they give. She likes to be put in handcuffs. And
everyone loved that video of her saying, "Joe, we did it. We're president of the United States." It really made good. My balls itch. I couldn't stand it. It was so. It was so irritating to me.
I did not watch it.
So you didn't see that? She was on a run. Secret Service was like littered around, and she was like, "Yo, we did it. You gotta be president of the United States." I was like, "Get your AKA ass on somewhere." Our mom's an AKA as well, so shout out to the Divine Nine.
Could y'all imagine the code switching going on that phone call? Camilla, that's not how she congratulate her best friend. That's not how she congratulate her homies. If Obama was around, she'd be like, "Bruh, we president."
Yeah, she knows how old and white he is too.
Hey, what's Joe Biden's wife? What's Joe Biden's wife? Jill, a teacher.
She cool.
Hey, teachers about to get that. So I think that's what you're gonna see. I think you're going to see a lot of teachers increase in their pay, but also like a lockdown on just kind of unqualified teachers. Or
you remember Pete Buttigieg? Buttigieg?
Yes.
Buttigieg, South Bend mayor. And we're going to use that transition of Notre Dame and Ball State and sports shit soon. But everybody was waiting for him to get a cabinet seat and like decide what they were going to, what Joe Biden was going to, you know how that worked. You know, everyone you ran against, you give them a spot in a desk in the White House.
Mm-hmm.
They have proposed him. Biden's team has proposed him to be the China ambassador and go live over there.
Damn.
How messed up is that?
Damn.
Like, oh yeah, you and your gay husband, y'all have to leave South Bend, move to China. And we'll see y'all every quarter.
Oh my God! Look, Joe was in the room
on Zoom.
No, he was. You're right. He was on Zoom. Hold on, he was on Zoom. Somebody was sharing their screen. They had like all the places and the names of places to put people, and then they filled their spot. And it's like, fuck, we forgot to get Booty one. We didn't get Booty one. No, we didn't get Booty a spot. What we got left? All we got is China.
Can't call the only open gay person in the cabinet Booty.
Oh, that's his name though. Buttigieg, right? It's
Buttigieg or Buddy.
For the record, I forgot that he was gay. So
Okay.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Him and his husband. Shout out to him. I felt so. I felt like I was so proud of South Bend when he was the mayor, because I was like, okay, South Bend.
Oh no, he blotched
South.
There was a young man killed by police in South Bend, and he completely blotched that, like, handling of that.
Did you say blotched?
Mm-hmm.
That's not it, bro. Like it's literally
blotched is the word.
I know, but the term you're using, the idiom, euphemism, whatever thing, is botched. Like a botched surgery.
It is botched.
Blotched.
Is it botched?
Lance, you don't have to look that up, because I don't know how you're gonna look it up, but you're gonna find blotched the way you look it up, guaranteed. I'm gonna move on, and you can your botched.
It says blotched. It says blotched, past tense, verb, cover with blotches. Her face was blotched.
Yes,
and swollen with crying.
Yeah, you think he blotched that job or botched it?
Both work.
They don't.
They do.
They don't. Okay.
They do.
Let's transfer into sports. We are in championship week officially. That means that all these games that we've seen in college football, obviously certain conferences didn't even start until halfway through the year because of COVID, or through the fall. The Big Ten for one, the MAC for another, that only really have 5 games or so to their schedule. One school that continued to play the entire time and is 10-0 the first year that they were put in the ACC is my alma mater, where I played football at originally, Notre Dame, University of Notre Dame, number 2 in the nation right now. We, as the first time in the ACC, played Clemson. The first time we played Clemson, we didn't play against Trevor Lawrence, who might be the number 1 draft pick in this next upcoming draft as a quarterback. He had COVID when he came to South Bend. He was over on the sideline with his mask half down, wearing his mask over your nose. By the way, if you're wearing your mask over your nose, stop. Either don't wear the mask or put it all on normally. I'm talking to everybody living in Louisville. What? Go ahead.
Side note, real quick, just real quick. We coming right back. You seen Cam Newton's little brother?
No.
Why he shaped like a pit bull? Keep going.
You should screen share that and pull that up.
Okay,
while I'm talking about this. Okay. So the ACC championship game is this weekend, but that's Saturday, December 19th on ABC against 9-1 Clemson. The only loss that they've received is the loss to Notre Dame when Trevor Lawrence was not playing. They have not lost the game with Trevor Lawrence. He is amazing. We were embarrassed by Trevor Lawrence last year and in the 2019 national championship game, or not national semifinals. They couldn't score a point. We need to stop wearing white in those games. But anyways, it's going to be in North Carolina. Huge game, ACC championship, first year in ACC. Can't stress that enough. But I say that because I say, and this is like a little caveat, because obviously Notre Dame is doing very well. Brian Kelly is now a couple wins away from having as much wins as Nuke Rockne. Already has surpassed Lou Holtz in wins. So like it's just like really good. Ian Book is like the most decorated quarterback in Notre Dame history at this point in time. So I really do. I think that Notre Dame is going to beat Clemson. I do. I think Notre Dame is going to be a national championship game this year, because all my teams are going to the ship. Lakers won, and shouts out to Ball State, my other alma mater, where I got my master's when I spent 2 years there. Shouts out to Funcy, Indiana. The MAC championship game at 5-0, or they're not 5-0. They lost some games, but
Notre Dame's going to lose by 6.
Okay, I like that. Okay, you did. Notre Dame's going to lose Clemson by 6. He says, I say Notre Dame's going to beat Clemson by 1. Look it. We'll follow back that up. We can talk about that. That's on Saturday and that's at Saturday at 4 p.m. on ABC, so you can't miss it. On Friday, the day before, December 18th, on ESPN, my Ball State Cardinals, chirp chirp. Lance was at the games, saw me ball out, saw me do
way
my
for
things.
Comfortable. The bleachers at Ball State were way more comfortable than the bleachers at Notre Dame.
There's places to stretch out at Ball State because wasn't nobody at the games, basically. Even before COVID, unfortunately. But now they're there. This is the second time that Ball State's ever been in the MAC championship. Like I said, the defensive coordinator is my homeboy Tyler Stockton, so I'm so happy for him and his career and what he's going to be able to do. It's his first year doing it. Man, That's just the homie, man. I'm so happy for him, so proud of him. But
I remember
also
Tyler.
Ball State.
Shaped like you.
He's shaped like me. Ball State doing this right now is so big and so huge and monumental. And the MAC championship game is in Detroit. Shout out to Detroit. It's always in Detroit.
Hey,
And yeah, that's going to be on ESPN at 7:30 on Friday. So go ahead, watch the game. Think of your boy. Think of the Ball State Cardinals. Chirp, chirp. Shouts out to them. Yeah, and I'm very proud of all of them.
Brandon did the flyest shit of his career at Ball State, like of his collegiate career at Ball State. Like
True that.
the dopest.
I got an interception, a couple sacks. Like I proved to myself that I could play at that level. At just not at the level, but like I proved to myself that I wasn't.
Yeah,
that was.
Washed. I'm not washed.
I had. Speaking of Clemson, I had my best game at Ball State. Probably not best game. The most tackles against Clemson. You would say probably because you stayed on the field because y'all was trash, but it was competitive a little bit in the first half. But but it was fun like playing against Clemson and getting a lot of tackles because I was like, yeah, like this is it was cool to prove myself there at Clemson. Dad was able to come to that game. We talk about that a lot in this podcast because we know. I guess we know you're listening. Are you frozen?
No, I'm listening and I agree.
Like, you look like one of those paintings in your house. What's it? Just sit there stuck, not blinking. Thinking before we last guy. Right there. Lance got the thing right there. I was like, what is going on? Before we get off college football, shout out to Sarah Fuller from Vanderbilt, the first woman to score in a Power 5 game. She has been kicking for Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's very bad, speaking of bad football teams. And so she kicked off the first kickoff, and that was a couple weeks ago, and it was not great. But I'm not going to put that on her. But she scored and scored a field goal, kicked it 3 points on the docket. And shouts out to her. Her parents was at the game. That was very special. One of the things that's so special to me is, as a kid, I always imagined that I have the first like female defensive lineman child in Division I football. Like I always wanted to have a girl who was like dangerous at the D-line position. Like I just wanted.
You want the ice box.
I want an ice box.
You want an ice box.
The Little Giants.
Shout out to Little Giants.
Thank
Spike
you.
No play with girls.
So I think maybe
we watched.
And maybe it was because. And maybe it was.
Day.
I can hear right now. I hit my headphones out. Maybe it's because of that movie and as being obsessed with cinema.
Yo,
who's Zoe? Zoe like it?
Yes. Oh, what? You know Zoe liked it. She
speaking of people that used to be at my football games at Ball State, she was just a little baby when she was
I teared up when Johnny runs to his dad and gets the touchdown because his daddy always away at business with his other family, but he don't know that. He just knows that.
Stop! You put the other family into it.
He ran to him and got a touchdown. Juke niggas. It was beautiful. But Icebox, the girl, I think that Sarah. I don't know why I'm imagining like a kickoff because eventually this is
Keep talking.
It looked like Daggett.
Shout out Pokemon.
Shout out Pokemon. Sarah, I'm imagining like it's going to evolve. There will be more kickers, punters, place kicking women, right, and doing the kickoff. And I'm imagining like them just walking off the field while the plays get ran back, or an icebox situation where she just cleared like a chick smacks the fuck out of dudes, and chicks end up being more like having more balls than punters. You know, like punters always get shook and shit. What if like women kickers just have a balance about themselves and they just always getting away?
Just secure with a tackle.
Always just a good secure tackle, ain't nothing fancy, and it's a girl too, right? So the coach is like, get in his way. He's chivalrous. Get in his way. He's Ben Roethlisberger. He got charges. He ain't gonna hit a woman. Get in his way.
I'm telling you, and not as someone who was vicious with a helmet on my head, and not to say that when you see someone else around you like ready to lay the wood, you really like dig in and just do it, and you just like you in the game. What else you gonna do? It would be very interesting to see the dichotomy of a woman, because like everybody ain't built like me. I am the probably one to probably be like soft stiff arm, like try to juke her or something like that and get caught from behind, like DK Metcalf like track me down. But like the wrong dude who couldn't wait to run over the Little Giants, the big what's the son? Spike
no play with girls. Spike no play with girls. Spike no play with girls.
He wanted to mess Ice Spike up. Spike don't play with girls.
That's all you got to say, because he didn't play with girls, and he tried to mess up her a lot of times, but she always got the upper hand, and that's what she got to be like. Women.
Oh my gosh, I was trying to explain this person before. Rick Moranis, that Honey and I Shrunk the Kids earlier in the episode. That was the coach for Little Giants.
And Al Bundy or Bundy Al Bundy was the
brother.
The O'Sheas. It was an awesome movie.
The O'Shea brothers.
Shout out to Little Giants, man. Bring it back. I want to remake a Little Giants with I guess other people in it.
Ooh, I got $1 million idea. You ready? Little Giants meets Hardball.
But like no white savior. Exactly. Like maybe black brothers. There's a brother coach.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, no, yeah. I said Hardball to get the black people in without saying it, but yes. Right, Keanu Reeves is nowhere in the picture, or any figure like him. The Summer Olympics, 2024 Summer Olympics in Paris will be featuring breaking, also known as breakdancing. The very first time breakdancing will be introduced as an Olympic sport. Brandon. I said Brandon, I was trying to talk to you. What the fuck is wrong with me? Lance, what's your take?
It's awesome. It's awesome. It's awesome. About time.
Stop. But this is not like the first black president type thing. Like, stop. It's not about time.
But it is, Brandon.
Breakdancing in the Olympics.
When you talk about black, it's the first black event in the Olympics. You talk about first black president, it's the first like black event. Now, I'm not saying events that black people are good at. I'm saying events that were created from black culture, which is breakdancing, straight up and down. There ain't no, you think Asians thought to why they was doing all that and that smooth, wavy stuff that they wanted to pop.
Half the Jabberwockies is Asian.
But why are they doing breakdancing? You feel me? Like, that's not of their culture. They are there's a whole like
that is fair to say it's not their culture. It is breakdancing is a New York central thing. Now the team that is starting this is a team that was based out of Washington DC, and there's a lot of, as some would say, mulatto characters in there, not characters but individuals, and Afro-Latino individuals, but obviously breakdancing is of our culture, so yeah, that does make more sense. I was wondering why you said that, but no, you sold me.
Yes, thank you, bro. So it is that very much so the first black president of Olympic Games. First of all, second of all, it's like, what kind of I feel like you won't get as much respect, right? It's like, hey, I got a gold medal for what? Ice hockey, or not ice hockey. What's the shuffle? Curling? Is that where they sweeping the shuttlecock? That's what it's called. The shuttlecock into the.
How you know what a shuttlecock is, but you don't know what curling is? Like, that's wild. That's like not knowing hockey, but knowing what a puck is.
So they sweep it into the place in circles. And I'm thinking like that is like, if you say got a gold medal in that, I'm not hyped.
No, people low key. That's a fair take for about the 2015. since then, early 2000s. Since then, we recognize like curling has become a cult. It's like a cult following. It's like
Hey,
and
curling is
it's
cold.
also I would say it's very
Curling is
entertaining.
cold. Yeah,
Very
cold.
entertaining.
Curling is cold.
And for breakdancing, here's my take on the whole thing. I want to care about it, and I want to. I know this was in the works for a long time, but it feels like a result of You Got Served being on Netflix. You know what I'm saying? Like it feels like Stomp the Yard is like it just feels like.
Why does it feel like that? It shouldn't.
Because it's like, what other form of dancing is in the Olympics? And also, who's the competition?
There's no other forms, and that's the thing. Competition is all around the world because
you know what? Actually, the argument,
world.
Synchronized swimming is probably a good example of it.
There you go. But let's think about like breakdance real quick. Brandon,
what countries are going to compete?
All the countries. Breakdancing is a worldwide phenomenon. It's a global phenomenon. There are breakdancers everywhere, and that's gonna be the dopest part. Like there'll be different styles of breakdancing, different like skill levels. Imagine like bendy or flexibility.
Well, I'm interested in watching. I'm interested in seeing like who comes out with what, and like finding out what country actually is. Like who's been doing their homework? It's like the whole Russian Rocky story thing. It's
China.
Remember Creed though? Like the guy who's like eating the like who?
Creed was the black dude.
No, I'm talking about the movie Creed. Creed 2
with the white. Okay,
Michael B. Jordan. You seen the Creed movies?
I've seen the first one.
Okay, I'm talking about the second one specifically when he fights the guy who Rocky lost to son. But it was like his son was like born and bred not to lose, and it was like that type of thing. Like imagine the breakdancing kids. They're like,
imagine breakdancing in Asian culture. So that's what it is. Like Asian. I think China. They was like, you're not playing the violin. You're not playing the piano. You keep wanting to breakdance. I hate this. Okay, you're actually kind of good at that. Matter of fact, let's make it an Olympic thing so that I can actually have pride. You will bring pride to your. I forgot the Mulan, and that's kind of probably racist.
I wonder,
but like you know what I mean, like the.
I wonder what
they coming for heads. It's gonna be, they're gonna make a CHINA out of their eyebrows or some shit, and like the camera's gonna zoom in. They're gonna get a 10. They're gonna get a 10.
They're gonna get a 10. They're gonna get a 10. I don't know about this breakdance thing.
When me and you had our routine back in Detroit, and there'll be those dances, and me and Brandon had a dance, a pop locking dance routine where, like I pulled out Brandon's heart and like stepped on it and then picked it back up.
No. It wasn't each other. It was the person. It was the pose. It was the opposite. It was the opposing.
Yeah, but if we didn't have an opposer, we did it to each other.
Yeah, but we didn't compete against each other. That was just a showcase. I'm talking about when we was battling, you take the heart and then throw it up, and then I hit it with the baseball bat out of the park.
Yeah, out of the park, Brandon would hit the heart out of the baseball bat. Now imagine you didn't go into football. I didn't go into poetry. Imagine we kept dancing. We just kept dancing. Brandon.
Okay, and now we got the little giant storyline. The O'Shea brothers is the breakdancer. Brothers, they're going to the Olympics for the same time we get the team together. Oh shit, Cool Runnings.
We're gonna call it Little Saints.
Little Saints.
Shout out to Little Saint who died in You Got Served.
Yeah.
That was the name of the group.
Yes. And New Orleans is a historically black city.
Ooh,
so like it recommended nationally.
I know who loves music. I know a lot of breakdancers in Louisville, Brandon. We can make this happen.
No, don't. No, I don't.
Want to produce it? You would wait.
Let's see the results of the 2024
coming out.
2024. Not that early.
2024 Little Saints.
2028 at the earliest. We got to see how it pans out in Paris. I do want to go to Paris. I would if we can make the push to get to Paris. Then maybe I'm down.
Oh, it's in Paris? That makes so much sense. All the dance videos I watch is folks is in Paris.
Yeah, Paris is up on it.
You had a nice grand finale for us. We've been going in hard. Thanks for rocking with us, Podigal Sons podcast. It's one of my favorite episodes. I don't know if it's the hard seltzer, but I've been having fun talking about topics. It's probably late night. I like the late night thing.
I like the
But
late night
anyways,
thing too.
uh,
Usually we tape during the afternoon, y'all. So y'all let us know whether
yeah,
y'all like
we
the night vibes
we
or the morning.
schedule around our children and what our wives allow. But Lance, you've been going extra hard on Christmas on Twitter. I don't know. I haven't seen our numbers. I'm not paying attention to it the first couple months. I just want to get into a groove with you and I. But I feel like you're making us lose some numbers by your Christmas hate. It's also one of those things where like it's like the white person who's like outwardly racist to black people, but only watches black porn. Like I feel like you might love Christmas secretly. So like, what do you have in store for us today?
The people that are leaving because of Christmas are just trying,
Not leaving,
people.
just not listening.
No, they don't. I don't want them to listen. Don't listen for the month of December if you are rah for Christmas. All right. First of all, if you're cool with Santa, that means you're cool with like work exploitation. Like worker exploitation, Brandon. Do you ever think about like people talk about the elves making toys and nobody gives two thoughts to what that elf's life is? That elf don't turn into, it's not a gnome, right? It doesn't turn into an inanimate object on the lawn after it gets done building a toy. It goes home to its little slave shack. All right. If you're cool with if you're cool with Santa, you're cool with, not only are you cool with worker exploitation, you're cool with pedophiles. You're cool with pedophilia.
Okay, no. Elves and slaves, in so many words, I can understand the concept. How is pedophilia connected to the North Pole?
Brandon, I would like you to tell me what person volunteers or gets paid to have hundreds of kids sit on their lap in a mall. Like, that is not, I have kids and I've had kids.
People who believe and enjoy the allure and spirit of Christmas. People want to tap into that, into being that Santa Claus nature. I don't think there's anything in the storybooks about Santa Claus having sex with children or being erect while they sit on their lap. I think
what?
What?
Where in the storybook is it talking about Santa sitting on laps? Like a pedophile came up with that tradition. Do you feel me? Like a pedophile was like, how can I have as many little butts in my lap as possible? And he was like, I'm going to volunteer to be a Santa. Because Brandon, think about the person that is comfortable with having that many children in their lap. Think about it. Think about how comfortable you got to be, because that's not a normal job.
Or like how loving and joyous. Obviously, it's not a normal job. It's a seasonal job, and seasonal jobs are for people who are seasonal workers. And if it's for a retired man, likely white, with a beard that he's growing year round for that Target gig or Kmart gig or whatever the hell it is. That doesn't mean
did you just name? You just gave the description of the pedophile, sir. You just gave the description of the person who touched the little kid. He was older white man with a beard that he's been growing the whole year and had a target. And he
wireframe glasses. No, I don't think that's the case. I do think that there's something odd about it. And when I think about it, now that I have a child, when I think about having like getting in line, for one, with COVID, lines, get the fuck out of here, not happening. Mm-hmm. But when I think about getting in line, I can't imagine wasting my time like that, even if it's what my child wanted to do.
And as a grown man, I know that I get erect at random times. Like there'll be times when my kids will try to like sit in my lap and I have to be like, hey, move, like, get up, or like stop it, Brandon. Listen.
You cannot use random
listen,
boners.
Listen. Listen,
But why you don't like Christmas, or why
okay,
Christmas is for
stop,
pedophiles?
stop. Do you get a
You
boner in the morning?
can't.
Do you get a boner in the morning?
I mean, not
When do
every
these
morning,
Santas?
but
When do these
yes.
Santas clock in? All right, you got all that
No,
blood
malls
rushing.
don't open up till 11.
Stop it. This is
They
a
don't.
tradition. This is a time honored tradition.
How
This
many
is a
times you been
tradition
into a
that
mall? How many
lasted.
times you been into the mall and you've seen the Santa thing set up and he's like, oh, it's not open yet? More times than you've seen it packed, guaranteed.
Recently, but that's with technology and everything else. Like back in the 70s, 60s, 50s, 40s, whenever this tradition started to get popular, you feel me? This was I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. So those are my two gripes with Christmas right now. Um, Again, I've been seeing people like, oh, there's one more. I have three. There's a third gripe. Hey, if you're doing that elf on the shelf stuff, what type of Chucky inspired nightmares are you trying to give your children? Like what?
You said Chucky. I think you should say what type of Toy Story design nightmares are you trying to give your children?
Toy Story is not scary. There's nothing scary about Toy Story.
And nothing scary about Elf on the Shelf.
He is going around the house messing up things. Like
He's not. No. Elf on the Shelf is not. They don't mess up. They just That's not. They're just randomly in different parts of the house when you see them. It's like that's the point. Is like finding is like him just being moved around the house every night.
No, Brandon.
They don't mess up things.
Yes, baby. So it's part of the like ideas. Like there's Elf on the Shelf rules, right? This is from Huffington Post, and it says they need a name. That's like one of the rules. When they arrive whenever you want them to arrive. It moves every night while the kids are sleeping. It watches over the kids all day and reports back. The kids cannot touch the elf, otherwise he or she will disappear. The elf doesn't move or speak while the kids are awake. He or she leaves before Christmas. So those
What part of that is messing something up? Because that's when you start. That's why you started reading.
But that's part of the ideas. That's part of the idea of
what?
Like
no. I'm telling you, I know families that do Elf on the Shelf, and it's exactly what you just read. And there's nothing about vandalism.
There's different websites where people can go and look up ideas for Elf on the Shelf. So people will post like, I don't know what to do, or how to do my Elf on the Shelf. Somebody like this.
You can't universalize it because Karen knocked over a glass of milk for her Elf on the Shelf.
Anyway, believing or making your children believe that an inanimate object in the house is one, watching over them, and two, moving at night without anybody touching it is sick. It's sick. It's like there's no reason to torment your children like that. Me and Brandon, when we were younger, and shout out to Raina, Elise, and Tasha. They used to babysit. Raina used to babysit us, and she had this doll named Cricket. Cricket was kept in this crawl space. It was in this crawl space in the attic. It was like always ducked off, and they used to do Elf on the Shelf with Cricket before Elf on the Shelf was a thing. Like Cricket's eye was
That's different.
out.
Now you're blending the things. Raina was purposely trying to scare us and terrorize us, and I think she actually gave that thing life in so many ways. And there was some vandalism and terror tied to Cricket in that scary ass doll. It's not the same as Elf on the Shelf. I understand if you made that connection, but that wasn't year round. That was during the summer or wherever the hell we was in that house. So, and that was when the danger happens. And she also she told us a lot that she tried to throw the doll away, and then we'd see it back in the attic. And that was the nightmare field stuff that we got.
Brandon
has nothing to do with Elf on the Shelf.
Brandon is trying to like lessen the trauma of Cricket, the doll, right? So first
for
of all,
who am I trying to lessen it for?
Hold on. I'm not making any saying that it was Elf on the Shelf. I'm saying the process of making children believe that inanimate objects are animate when we're asleep or just not paying attention is the trauma, and that is the same as the Elf on the Shelf. Even though it has this like kind-hearted spirit behind it, it is still the same. Oh, things can move while I'm not watching them. Okay, that's terrible. There's no reason to.
I mean, it's the same type of. I am much more afraid of the concept of the Tooth Fairy than I am Elf on the Shelf.
What? Why?
Some lady, some grown Tinkerbell looking lady collecting bones that fall out of my mouth and leaving money behind as an exchange, like a damn pawn shop, and sneaking and taking it from under my pillow. That is way more scary than an animate object, because like the animate object is is inanimate, and it's not in my
It moves
bedroom.
while you sleep.
Elf on the Shelf. Elf on the Shelf. I don't know if you know.
You think?
Only moved around in the living room.
Hold on, stop it, Brandon. So look, again, you can't personalize and generalize your one experience with everybody else's, right? That and some people, I guarantee you, who are doing Elf on the Shelf, put that motherfucker in their kid's room at some point.
No,
Like you know,
it's only around the stockings and the Christmas tree and all that shit.
Bundy, you don't know that. You don't know that, Brandon.
Yes, I do.
How? You have seen everybody who practices Elf on the Shelf?
No, I understand. No, I know the concept of Elf on the Shelf. I know about Elf on the Shelf, the history and traditions of Elf on the Shelf.
You're just talking. You know the history. What are the histories and traditions of Elf on the Shelf?
I'm talking about. You read them out loud from the Huffington Post thing, and that's how I know there was no vandalism involved. And that's in the watching over thing. There's no watching over in specific rooms. It's the family room. It's like what you do in the place where everyone is. Like it's around the Christmas
what
tree.
Everybody does with their Elf on the Shelf, Brandon.
Okay.
I mean, you don't, right?
And neither do you.
No, but we're both talking about from our experiences, right? Like you're talking about your experience with people who have Elf on the Shelf, right? Or is that where you're getting that
yes.
from?
And I said research, yes.
Okay, and I'm going from research and my experiences with people with Elf on the Shelf. My experiences with people with Elf on the Shelf, they like take toothpaste and smear it on the bathroom, or they like take well, whatever it is, what it is. I'm just telling you, different people do different things with the Elf on the Shelf. I'm saying,
but I'm saying that is like that's
Brandon,
intentionally scary.
Way. It's sick either way.
No, because it's just something in the room. It's like moving a cup around the room versus like.
It's not a cup. It's a little doll. And but there's no movies about cups being alive. There's several movies about toys being alive.
Only one of them is evil.
It doesn't matter. The idea.
Toy Story, actually, Toy Soldiers was a little bit too. They went too far.
That was evil too.
They went too far with Toy Soldiers. That was scary. Animal and the rest of the little things like that was too much. They needed to chill with that. But it was a great movie.
I'm just saying. But that's it. Those are my gripes. So we can get off of it. I'm just saying, Elf on the Shelf is again, it's part of that making your children believe something that they'll have to unlearn later in life. Like when our brains are developing, you should give your children as much truth as possible, so that when they get older, they're not underdeveloped or having to redevelop their brain and take in new information.
My issue with your Christmas hate is laced in the fact that you're trying to tell people how to parent, which I think is the core issue with this whole thing.
I mean,
because like, who are you to tell people how they should be raising their children?
Again, it's less about people raising their children, and it's more about the evolution of humanity's like jointed consciousness. Like at one point, we stopped believing that the Earth was flat, right? And everybody kind of elevated from that point. And this is one of those, the Earth is not flat things. Like it's a pagan holiday. Because
the Earth is flat was like a real scientific fact that was debunked in worlds open up before. This is just like a fun idea for around the holidays to make people happy and smile and justify why gifts aren't being brought in every day and all year round.
No, it's psychological conditioning for capitalism. That's all it is, Brandon. That's all it is.
I'm saying, but that you have to understand that is it fair to say that that's what it is to you?
No.
I don't think we had the type of upbringing to be able to say what Christmas is to everyone. You know what I'm saying? Was that fair to say?
No.
Okay. I'm not trying to step up. Listen, I'm giving you the end of all week to get your shit off, but I'm letting you know where the holes are at. Where the holes at?
That's not a hole. That's not a hole though. You can. It is easily the connection to Christmas and capitalism is easier made than a connection to Christmas and goodwill.
Who said anything about goodwill?
I'm saying that's what you're saying, that's what you're saying. People don't believe that it's people don't believe that it is a capitalist thing. They believe that it's
I didn't say that.
time honored.
I said that.
Is it fair that I'm the only one that believes that?
No, I'm saying that. No. I'm saying that you said it's Christmas is like programming for capitalism, and you think that's why it exists. And I'm saying people and other families. I said I can see how we think that. I can see how you think that based on how we experience Christmas. How other people experience Christmas, it is a time for family to get together. It's time to be together. It's time for to talk about memories of past Christmases where things would happen. I don't think people get together and talk about gifts that they got as much as they talk about memories they had and what people did and
but see, that's the point
war.
Of Christmas. You're making it all warm and fuzzy and completely.
But I'm saying that's what it is for people.
But it's not though. For some people,
well, but I know, but
it's being hungrier. It's being colder, right? Hungrier because
absolutely.
Closed,
but I'm saying I understand that, but like, I'm saying like you
more
can't
judge because you can't afford.
I understand that, and you voicing those opinions is one thing, but for you to universalize based on those opinions, like
we have to universalize the lowest. So that's the only way we are going to evolve as a humanity is to vocalize the lowest sections of our society. If we amplify those voices, then it'll be a rising tide and every other boat will rise with it.
That's the thing though, like you're acting as if people are lower for wanting to participate in this holiday.
Not lower as much as like just stupid.
Okay. Well,
okay.
You know how you sound. That was a fun episode. I enjoyed
it. Was a fun episode.
I enjoyed all of it. Need to get my Truly Hard Seltzer on for sponsoring. Thank you for sponsoring this. Episode 7 was and that's we did the thing when we talked about the stuff.
Episode 7, y'all, number of completion. Thank y'all so much for riding with us. More to come. We have some like news that we want to share for y'all, so y'all stay tuned, right? Like I'm working on a project that I can't talk about over the air right now until things are finalized. Brandon's working on a project that he can't talk about until things are finalized. So y'all stay tuned. We got some awesome things going on. I'm going to start my thoughts and prayers to close us out with just what I said earlier, thoughts and prayers to the families of the activists that have been killed in Louisville recently. Thoughts and prayers to the Louisville activist community. I pray that you all are watching out for yourself, that you're watching your back and you're like just not at the wrong place at the wrong time. You know what I mean? Like we need activists. We need you all to continue voicing your opinion, and the scare tactic and intimidation will not be it won't be enough. So y'all keep it up.
I would like to say thoughts and prayers to the people that don't have happy memories about Christmas, and that it actually is a time of aloneness or in all the jolliness and things that happen are just a reminder of what you don't have or and you can't have, because that obviously is very, very painful to be in that. And I especially in the holiday season, I just hope that people can seek out others that make them happy. Thoughts and prayers to everyone who has birthdays in December. Special time for those. Shout out to TT who just had her 33rd birthday.
Happy birthday, Kevon. Who else's birthday was it? It's a lot of folks' birthday.
Yeah. So
shout out to Greg. Shout out to Bundy. My son's birthday will be this week.
Yes.
He'll be 4. My 4-year-old. Or my 3.
The LG3.
LG3. Lance the third.
Yes. Hey, Lance, it was so funny. We had a meeting about for the podcast, and Lance saw me on. He's like, Uncle BJ. And then I opened it up so we could talk to him, and he got shy. And I was like, oh, that's funny. Let's get some kid shit.
Some kid shit.
Yeah, that's just what it is. But anyways, love you, brother. Thanks for doing this. And Podigal Sons, we'll see y'all mother effers next week.
All right, mother effers. Bye-bye.